Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. My name is Utsaf Parekh and here are the top stories of the day. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that a deal to release hostages held by Hamas has been reached. Netanyahu has ordered his political security cabinet to convene later in the day for the final approval. If approved, the Gaza Truce agreement will begin on Sunday. It will see the exchange of Israeli hostages for Palestinian prisoners. Meanwhile, Israeli forces have continued to attack Gaza even though a ceasefire has been announced. Strikes in Gaza killed at least 80 people on Thursday. The Israeli military said it targeted approximately 50 terror sites in the region. Hamas's armed wing has launched a stark warning amid the ongoing Israeli strikes in Gaza. Hamas said that the Israeli strikes and shelling were putting Israeli hostages at risk. Hamas added that such strikes could turn their freedom into a tragedy. The Yemen-based Houthis have threatened to continue their attacks if Israel does not respect the ceasefire with Hamas. The Houthi chief, Abdulmalik al-Houthi, said that the group would provide military support to Palestinians if there are any breaches by the other side. Iran has welcomed the ceasefire in Gaza and the hostage release deal. It described the agreement as a victory for Palestinians and a defeat for Israel. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei hailed Palestinians after the truce announcement. Hundreds of Iranians gathered in major cities to celebrate. Egypt's foreign ministry has said that it is ready to host an international conference on the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. Cairo said this a day after the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas was announced. Egypt's foreign ministry added that the implementation of the ceasefire must start without delay. They also called for the rapid, safe and effective distribution of humanitarian aid. The official U.S. presidential portrait of Donald Trump has been released. This time, the portrait is noticeably different from the first one. The photo was similar to Trump's mugshot at Fulton County Jail in Georgia. That's where he was taken in August 2023 over charges of trying to overturn the 2020 U.S. presidential election results. Denmark's Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, has said that Donald Trump's comments about seizing Greenland have led to a serious unresolved situation. Trump recently refused to rule out military and economic interventions to bring Greenland under U.S. control. Even after a call between the two leaders, Frederiksen said that the incoming U.S. president did not withdraw his comments. China's President Xi Jinping will not be attending Donald Trump's inauguration. Instead, Vice President Han Zheng will attend the ceremony in Washington on January 20th. It's the first time that a senior Chinese leader is going to be present at a U.S. presidential inauguration. Meanwhile, former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro will not be attending Trump's inauguration. This is because Brazil's Supreme Court has refused to return Bolsonaro's passport. Bolsonaro has been accused of trying to orchestrate a coup to remain in power after his 2022 election defeat. His passport was seized last year because he was considered a flight risk. The U.S. has sanctioned Sudan's army chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. Washington accused him of worsening the civil war in Sudan. U.S. officials say that Burhan's forces targeted civilians by bombing schools, markets and hospitals. He's also accused of blocking aid to use hunger as a weapon. The Sudan civil war erupted in 2023 between the ruling military junta and the paramilitary forces known as the RSF. The latest test of SpaceX's Starship rocket ended in failure. SpaceX reported that the rocket exploded due to technical issues that arose shortly after liftoff. SpaceX is a company founded by billionaire Elon Musk, who is also CEO. Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer signed a landmark 100-year partnership agreement with Ukraine on Thursday. This was during his unannounced visit to Kyiv. In his first visit since taking office last year, Starmer pledged support to Ukraine in the war against Russia and even after the war ended. South African rescue workers announced that they have ended their operation in an abandoned gold mine. Illegal miners were holed up in this mine for months. They were in a standoff with South African authorities for fear of getting arrested. However, a court recently ordered their safe rescue. South African officials say that they rescued 246 miners and recovered 78 bodies. Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan has been sentenced to 14 years in prison. His wife, Bushra Bibi, has received a jail term of 7 years. The convictions stem from a land corruption case. Khan has been in jail since August 2023. About 200 cases have reportedly been filed against him. Khan maintains his innocence and says that the cases are all politically motivated. In climate news, the dangerous weather conditions propelling the Los Angeles fires are reportedly over. The fires have killed at least 27 people so far, though 31 people remain missing. The Palisades fire is at 27% containment with no growth over the last 72 hours. Residents have been asked to wait for another week before returning to their homes. A devastating wildfire is burning in southern Argentina's Patagonia region. It has destroyed dozens of homes and forced mass evacuations. Approximately 50 houses have been engulfed by the wildfire. The U.S. is bracing for extreme cold weather with freezing temperatures expected this weekend. A weather phenomenon known as the polar vortex is bringing frigid conditions. Some areas in the northern U.S. are already experiencing temperatures of minus 31 degrees Celsius. Donald Trump's inauguration will also likely be affected. Forecasters say it'll be the coldest inauguration in the past 40 years. European Union airlines have said that they can't comply with the bloc's pollution guidelines. They say that the EU has not launched the system that collates pollution data that it previously promised. The airlines have been mandated to track their emission levels. However, the aviation industry says that they are unable to comply because the reporting system has not launched yet. Phuket Island in Thailand is currently grappling with waste management issues. This is amid a rise in post-pandemic tourists and development in towns. 1,100 tons of trash from all over Phuket is sent to a landfill on the island's east coast. Of this, 700 tons is burnt up, but the rest still gets piled up on a daily basis. The people staying nearby have been complaining of the pungent smell and pollution-related issues. In business news, China has started an investigation into U.S. subsidies for semiconductor companies. Chinese authorities claim they give American firms an unfair advantage. Beijing accuses the U.S. of protectionist measures. The investigation follows U.S. actions against Chinese chip makers, including tariffs and probes into China's semiconductor industry. China's population declined for the third consecutive year in 2024. The numbers fell by 1.39 million last year and stood at 1.408 billion. Deaths significantly outpaced birth rates. Experts warn of further decline, putting pressure on an already strained economy. This is a fallout from China's one-child policy that was implemented from 1980 to 2015. Diesel prices rose globally after the U.S. imposed tough sanctions on Russia's oil trade. The sanctions aim to limit Russia's oil revenue, which funds its war in Ukraine. A number of targeted ships, are part of a shadow fleet, were delivering Russian oil to India and China. These countries benefited from cheap Russian oil after Europe banned imports. American plane maker Boeing has resumed testing its long-delayed 777X jet. The aircraft was previously grounded due to the failure of a key engine part. The 777X fleet is the successor to Boeing 777, one of its most popular jets. The 777X was originally set for delivery to Qatar Airways in 2020. Hino Motors, which is a subsidiary of carmaker Toyota, will pay $1.6 billion and plead guilty to misleading U.S. regulators about diesel emissions. The truck company will also be banned from exporting diesel engines to the U.S. for 5 years. Hino was charged with fraud for selling 105,000 illegal engines between 2010 and 2022. The U.S. Justice Department says that Hino falsified emission and fuel consumption records. A report says that 7 Indian private companies have been selected for a unique India-US space and defense collaboration. The companies, including Kaleido, Ethereal X and Adya Space, will work with US government agencies and the Defense Innovation Unit. This collaboration opens access to the US defense and space market, along with mentorship and paid projects. The companies will also partner with top US defense leaders like Northrop RTX and Lockheed Martin. iPhone maker Apple has suspended a new AI feature on its devices. The feature made repeated errors in summarizing news headlines. Several news outlets have complained that these news alerts are inaccurate. Apple says it'll soon release an updated version. Apple has launched its Apple Store in India on Friday. The move is to expand its retail presence in the world's most populated country. The app allows customers to buy Apple products directly. People can also get personalized recommendations and choose delivery or pickup locations for their orders. Japan's gaming giant Nintendo has confirmed that the Nintendo Switch 2 console will launch in 2025. The new design will keep the hybrid design as it was. Players can use it both as a handheld and a home gaming system. It features a bigger screen and improved specs. Microsoft is adding the Copilot artificial intelligence features to its Microsoft 365 suite for users. Customers can choose a subscription plan with or without Copilot. The subscription prices will go up by $3 in the US. Copilot will be available in Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook, and OneNote. Now to sports news. We begin with cricket. The Indian Cricket Board, the BCCI, introduced a 10-point policy to tackle disciplinary issues within the Indian team. The BCCI has made it compulsory for players to participate in domestic cricket matches. Players are now expected to travel with the team for all matches and practice sessions. The BCCI has also banned players from engaging in personal commercial endorsements or shoots during an ongoing series. Australian off-spinner Nathan Lyon donated bats signed by Indian players Virat Kohli and Jasprit Bumrah. The donations were made to an organisation supporting specially abled cricketers in Australia. In football news, Manchester United beat Southampton 3-1 in the Premier League. United's Manuel Ugarte scored an own goal just before the second half began to give Southampton a 1-0 lead. But Amad Diallo's hat-trick in the final 10 minutes sealed the game for Manchester United. Brighton beat Ipswich Town 2-0 in the Premier League. After a goalless first half, Brighton's Caro Mitoma scored the opening goal in the 59th minute. Jorginho Rutter hit the back of the net before the end of regular time to deliver a win for Brighton. We have news about Aryna Sabalenka. She enters the 4th round of the Australian Open. '21 US Open champion Emma Raducanu has entered the 3rd round of the Australian Open. She's all set to face world number 2 Iga Świątek. Raducanu has reached the 2nd round in Melbourne thrice before. However, she was never able to advance further. Ace badminton player PV Sindhu has entered the women's singles quarterfinals in the India Open. Sindhu defeated Japan's world number 46, Manami Suizu, with a 21-15, 21-13 win. The two-time medalist Sindhu will now face Paris Olympics bronze medalist Gregoria Mariska Tunjung in the next round. Meanwhile, India's Kiran George has entered the men's singles quarterfinals in the India Open. He defeated French player Alex Lanier with 22-20, 21-13 to enter his maiden quarterfinals. He's now the sole Indian representative in the round. Aston Martin spokesperson has clarified that it's not attempting to woo sponsors by using Max Verstappen's name. This is after reports suggested that the F1 racing team wooed potential sponsors by claiming that four-time F1 world champion Verstappen is set to join the team for a $1 billion deal. The ancient game of Kho-Kho is resurging in India. The organizers of the first international tournament are hoping to secure an Olympic nod for the sport. This comes as India is hosting the inaugural edition of the Kho-Kho World Cup 2025. In entertainment news, on January 30th, several stars will come together for a fire aid benefit concert aimed at raising funds for the LA wildfire-hit communities. Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Billie Eilish and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, among others, will play at the concert at the Inuit Dome and Kia Forum in Los Angeles. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump is aiming to make Hollywood stronger than ever. He has named Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson and Jon Voight as special ambassadors. Their goal will be to bring back business lost to foreign countries. French-American actor Timothée Chalamet faced a $79 fine during a complete unknown global press tour. The actor rode to the London premiere of the Bob Dylan biopic on an electric bike. The actor said it's ecological and helped him beat the traffic. However, he did not park his bike properly, for which he faced the fine. Justin Baldoni has sued Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. The lawsuit alleges that the couple hijacked Baldoni's film It Ends With Us. The complaint states that the two sought to destroy him with false allegations of sexual harassment. Lively and Reynolds are accused of civil extortion, defamation, and invasion of privacy. The lawsuit seeks at least $400 million in damages. Keke Palmer said that as a young actor, people tried to put limitations on her. She said, and I quote, "I wasn't necessarily in the same conversations as Victoria Justice or Selena Gomez or Miley Cyrus at the time." Palmer added that her series got isolated and labeled as The Black Show. The actor headlined 3 seasons of the popular Nickelodeon show True Jackson VP between 2008 and 2011. The second season of Squid Game becomes the third most watched TV series on Netflix. The show has received 152.5 million views. Squid Games 2 is only behind its first season, which has 265 million views, and Wednesday, which has 252 million. After its December 26th premiere, Squid Game Season 2 fetched 68 million views in 4 days. It became Netflix's biggest TV debut ever. The Traitors opened its 3rd season with the largest viewing numbers to date. The show registered 499 million minutes of viewing on Peacock in its first week. Season 3 premiered on January 9th. The Traitors their previous best showing rating was 402 million minutes for Season 2 in January 2024. This data is according to the Nielsen streaming ratings. Disney has appointed Susanna Marcos as the new head of comedy programming for ABC Entertainment and Hulu Originals. She spent 6 years at Max and Adult Swim before this. Marcos will oversee the current series at ABC, while at Hulu she will look after live-action comedy, adult animation, and stand-up specials. The UK has unveiled a $73 million funding package for gaming startups, films and music exports. The businesses set to receive benefits include startup video game studios, British music and film exports, music venues and creative businesses outside London. The creative sector funding comes amid the Labour Party administration's push for broader economic growth. American filmmaker David Lynch died at the age of 76. The cause of his death has not been revealed. In August 2024, he was diagnosed with the lung disease emphysema. The writer and artist won Best Director Oscar nominations for Blue Velvet, The Elephant Man and Mulholland Drive. He also co-created the hit TV series Twin Peaks. That's all for this episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to First Post.